Well, hi, Ken again, Ken Marjolinski. I even I don't say my last name right. It's a habit. Hey, I'm in Pittsburgh. Today's date is the 1st of May, 2025. And I have Apophis, lies, a biblical event called Wormwood coming that I want to explain to you. And it'll also include other terms like false flag, psyop affairs, psyops, psychological operations against us. If you haven't figured it out yet, yes, the government is against us. We're nothing to them. It's not like it's not as much personal as it sounds. We're going to die, and so we need controlled until we die. Well, what do we mean? What do I mean? We're going to die. It's Apophis, guys. It's an asteroid called Apophis that NASA says will be here Friday the 13th, April 13th, 2029. Now, that is, excuse me, I have personal matters like itchy ears and things like that that'll pop up, and I don't know how to pause this because first time I've ever shared a screen. And this is my really fourth try. I think it's going to work. And I want to make sure, yes, that it is recording me. And as soon as I've got Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's going to talk for, let's see, shrink me down here a little bit and move this up for 15 minutes. There he is. See, I'm 15 minutes. I don't know if you can see my cursor. But anyway, he's going to talk for 15 minutes about Apophis, which is really a ball. This is a humongous thing. I have to stay on track, and I don't know if I think I've screwed up enough that I'm not, oh, wait a minute, I've not started yet, have I? Oh, I've not. Let's see. Play. Okay. Well, 3 minutes into this, and I'm just jabbering around. Let's get started. This is about Apophis. It's a asteroid Apophis. It is what Neil deGrasse Tyson on the bigger screen will be talking about. Neil deGrasse Tyson is a nice man. Nice guy. I think he'd rather not be doing and saying what he's doing. But Neil deGrasse Tyson is an earned PhD astrophysicist. He knows all about skies and meteors and asteroids and planetary things. And he's to the doctorate level. He's charming. I like the guy personally to a degree, because he is a liar. His position for NASA unofficially is to give us disinformation about a huge, and I mean bigger, probably 4 times bigger than the Empire State Building to size asteroid. An asteroid that is also compared in size to the Rose Bowl. And that's not just the field, that's including the bleachers and the whole deal. That is a big rock, big rock, coming in 4 years. And his job is to tell everyone it's not going to hit us. However, his job is to tell us that it will take out some of our satellites. It'll be so close to Earth. Now, how far away do you think our satellite for our televisions are, or your GPS systems, global positioning systems? They're not up that high, and they're orbiting, and they're so close to Earth that Earth's orbit or Earth's gravity will pull them down unless centrifugal force made by the speed they're moving through the atmosphere up there, whatever it is, no atmosphere. In space, keeps them at an equilibrium so they don't drop back to the ground and crash because of gravity. Okay, but Neil deGrasse Tyson's going to try to convince us that it's going to miss us this time, see, but he's going to try to put emphasis on a made-up thing called a keyhole. That if this huge rock doesn't go through something called a keyhole, which is very small by comparison, an eye of a needle laying on a piece of paper. Okay, how big that eye is compared to an 8 by 11 sheet of paper is about the size of a keyhole. He's talking about, or maybe a wedding ring band or something that size of a whole circle. He's saying that he's throwing, this is a lie. This is just, in my opinion, to throw us off guard. You'll hear him explain that this asteroid will miss us this time, 2029, only to return in 7 years. It's to the exact date. So 7 years from April 13th, 2029 is April 13th, 2036. Okay, and that is when it's supposed to come and hit for certainty if it goes through a keyhole that he made up, him and NASA made up. So what's going to happen, I'm glad I think I'm doing pretty good by bringing this up at the beginning to set you up to what you'll be hearing. So this big asteroid's coming in 4 years. It's going to come so close that certainly the gravity of the Earth will be pulling on it, because if it's going to take out satellites, and satellites are held within their own orbits by our gravity of the Earth, then the gravity of our Earth will certainly affect something the size of the Rose Bowl, and I heard it could be the size of 3 Rose Bowls in size. And holy mackerel. Big. What do you think the speed of an asteroid is hitting? Huh? Well, figure a bullet from you guys out there, load and shoot. That's, an AR-15 or an M16 if you're military. That's a high-speed bullet. Did you know that an M16 or AR-15, quote, assault rifle, unquote, bullcrap actually, is the size of a .22 bullet? Yeah, the caliber is .223. That means it's a .22. Did you ever shoot a .22 rifle? It goes crack, no kick, no nothing. And the little bullet is, well, let me show you the bullet. I don't have a bullet, but I could show you the size of a .22 bullet. I'll bring it up here. Oh, this is pretty good. Let me put it up to this. This is a Phillips head. And let me get it to get a white background. That's a Phillips head screw. Okay, thing, right? Well, that's your .22. Actually smaller than that. Here's my hand. Here's my finger. That's your .22. Well, that's nothing. I could throw these things, these Phillips heads at you all day long and never hurt you. Maybe you'd go ouch if you're a big sissy. But put it behind gunpowder and speed that thing projectile up, metal projectile up to approximately 1,300 feet per second, and suddenly it goes through your skin of your arm and out the back of the fleshy part. Or it goes into your arm and breaks the bone. So it's not just size or weight, it's the speed. Now, we don't know the speed, and they're not telling us. They're certainly not ready with telling us the speed of, let's get this in the background. Oh, hold on a minute. My whole screen's going to fall. I'm going to get this involved a little bit. See if I can widen. I like my penny farthing because this is a penny farthing deal, guys. Okay, this is a complicated deal. My penny farthings. See the big wheel there? big wheel, all the spokes. Well, that's the issue, is the hub of the wheel. But the issue has so many connecting parts, making it almost impossible to explain what's going on. Metaphorically, I call the spokes. So it's not easy to explain the hub if you got to explain at least most or half of these spokes, related subjects to that. And so people give up and walk away, and they pay the price. We pay the price, guys. So this is it. I'm going to let Neil tell you in his own words. 15 minutes. All right, my time is 10 minutes. This will be 15 just to get through him, but I'll be making comments and following Neil. And he's contradicting himself. Neil has made at least probably 12, if not 24, videos just like this, or very much similar, by him personally talking or being interviewed. And he says different things. In this one, he'll say the tsunami will be 3 miles high. In another, he'll say the tsunami that Apophis will only be 100 feet high. So what is it, Neil? 3 miles high Apophis will take out, actually 100 foot tsunami will take out all of Hawaii, every island. Of course, it'll take out the West Coast, but the impact won't have to inundate the West Coast, because I think the West Coast will fall into the ocean, just like in the movie 2012, since Apophis is hitting just 200 miles off the very southern west coast of California, just above where California meets Mexico. And it's going to be hit so hard that the San Andreas faults and every other fault unnamed will going to go off. And so you're going to have not just earthquakes, you're going to have major structural movements, not just 2 or 3 feet back and forth. I think it will look a lot like the movie 2012. If you haven't seen it, go see it. At least watch the first 10 minutes of it. It shows California falling into the ocean. It's great special effects, believe me. Frightening as heck. But he contradicts himself. His job is to hide. His job is to hide the timing of this. They can't stop it. Or they'd be stopping it now. 4 years ahead would probably not be enough time to stop this thing. We don't know what it's made of. It could be solid iron. We don't know. It could be, a s'mores composition, which is no such thing. It could be a giant s'mores that's going to hit the ocean. But no, it's not going to be that. It's going to be solid. It is solid. It's making it through our atmosphere and through space pretty good. And so, it's hard. So they can't stop it. They can't deflect it. Or maybe it's possible they're trying to deflect it, but he's not talking deflection. He's not giving us any hope of deflection, because he's not even bringing the deflection up in either all or any, let's say 99% of his little videos like we're watching here. And I have to tie this in. This is also, according to our Christianity, our best Christian scholars who dwarf me, but I'm a scholar. But you got to put a little S for scholar for me, because 43 years of study and gifted and called by God. I have my gifts. I have my strengths that could stand against anybody's in certain areas, because I'm gifted that way, not because I'm so smart. But I just won't say I'm a big capital S scholar. I've not studied it. I studied Greek. I've not been formally trained. So why listen to me? Well, because I'm being called. You walk into churches most of the time. No, all the time. And your pastors have got some sort of a degree, Bible school or something. and they don't know their hat from their handkerchief, okay? And they preach the same old pablum every day, every Sunday. And they don't care about you. They care about keeping the doors open because they got a mortgage to keep and keep the church open. And they got a hopeful retirement package coming to them when they get older. So they got to keep you. No controversy. It's a business. Let's get started. Let Neil get started here. So I sure hope this is actually taking place. I'm going to kind of shrink me down a little bit more. And Neil, start. Neil?
We discover an asteroid.
Take a second for the sound to come up.
We have a couple of data points on its position in the sky.
I'm going to back up.
We discover an asteroid. We have a couple of data points on its position in the sky. You look at its speed, you get a Doppler shift on it. You get its direction, you plug it into the computer. There is a...
By the way, what is the speed? See, the speed plus, well, you guys know your physics, your basic physics, like the 22 bullet. It's speed plus mass. Okay, how much energy is it going to hit us with? Well, we have an approximation of the mass because you said it's taller than the Empire State Building if it's set on it's egg-shaped sort of on its end, or it's taller than the Eiffel Tower if it's set on end. And you said it's as big and round as at least the Rose Bowl. So we got an approximation of the mass. Now, what about its speed? See, he's not saying numbers. He's being all informative and academic, but he knows what to hold back. And this girl with her chin on her fist, and the man behind the microphone, they're paying attention. And we need people like that. I hope they think beyond what he's saying, though. We all have too much, way too much of an inkling to trust people that are in authority or given authority or have the authority of a PhD, and they're cads. They're useful tools for evil people, and that's what this nice man here called Neil is. He's a useful tool for evil people.
20% chance it was going to hit Earth on April 13th, 2036. Did you hear about this asteroid when it was discovered? No, because that same week was the Indonesian tsunami. That same week. And so rightly so, it did not lead the headlines the way the tsunami did. However, if you did the calculation, you would show that if it hit Earth in the center of the uncertainty range, it would hit the Pacific Ocean 500 kilometers west of Santa Monica. It would plunge into the ocean to a depth of 3 miles. It would explode at that depth, cavitating the ocean in a hole 3 miles wide. Now you have a wall of water 3 miles high. What happens to that wall of water?
A wall of water is called a tsunami. 3 freaking miles high, folks. I did not curse, but I am upset. And I want to emphasize, see, I'm a Christian. I'm born again. We got a rapture coming up. Thanks to NASA giving us the date of Apophis, it's another video, but we now know that if Apophis then is wormwood, we know wormwood would hit in the center of the 7-year tribulation period, the center. Now we know the date of the center, of the middle, absolutely middle of the 7-year tribulation period, and that date is April 13th, 2029, 4 years away. So, since the trib is a 7-year tribulation period, it hits in the middle, then 3.5 years is half of the tribulation. Let's go back 3.5 years, shall we? Well, we go back 3.5 years from that date, okay, and that brings us back to this October 13th, which coincides of 2025 now, this year. What, 4 or 5 months away? And it coincides with the Jewish holiday called Sukkot, Sukkut, means Feast of the Booths, where the people go sleep for a couple days out in makeshift tents and shelters they keep like in the front or backyard, in honor of remembrance of the 40 years they spent in tents in the great 40-year exodus out of Egypt into the Promised Land. And so that we also know that I've not done an exhaustive study, but I don't think I really have to, because this has God's fingerprints all over it. Christ died on a Jewish holiday called Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement. Oh, that was the Day of Atonement, Christ's death. We call it Good Friday. So they coincide. My point, Jewish holidays coincide with humongous events, religious Christian events. And so we have, just so happens to the day, 3.5 years from April 13th, puts us on October 13th of this year. Which means what? It means the beginning of the tribulation. That's what it. So since people like me are pre-tribs, that means we're not going to, Christians, God's not going to send his bride, because that's what the church is, through the tribulation. I'm getting off track. Let's wrap it up here. It's another study. The bride of Christ is the church today. No, it's not the Catholic Church. It's those who've trusted Christ as their Savior and settled it. Said they asked him, he said, ask me, I'll forgive you forever, protect you. They asked, they trusted that he'll do it. He did it, and now that's the church, those people. And so we know that since I'm not going through in my theology, which is the only one that makes sense. Remember, I'm the theologian here. I really am. 43 years. Don't believe me. I don't care. But I know I'm not going through any, neither is the church going to go through anything called the tribulation that's going to start Friday, or October 13th, 2025. I'm not going, so that means, excuse me, what the, I just told you not to, sweetheart. Yeah, honey, what do you want? Write it on paper. Okay. I just got interrupted here and I don't know how to pause, so, little family matter. Well, he's not feeling good, so I guess she had to come in and talk to me. I have to get this done here. Would you please close that door so the little animals don't come in? And I lost my place. Oh, you're leaving?
I'm going to bed. My back is killing me.
Okay. All right, hon. Thank you. Thank you. Love you.
Love you.
You'll have to forgive that. And I don't want to explain what's happening, but my wife's ill. Anyway, okay. I'm actually learning as my life's changing as the moments go on. Actually, in this life, in this world, at my point in time. Getting back to Neil here. So we're not going to. It means that October the 13th of this year, or before, we are going to be raptured. Because on October 13th of this year, the tribulation officially will start. Do I know this as a fact? All the facts point to it. But I'm not insane. Even this sounds fantastic to me, guys. What I'm telling you. I'll present to you the facts as I go through this and other things of Apophis. First of all, we're being lied to, so that's through our man here, Neil, and through NASA and the government. He's throwing us. You'll hear how he throws us off course with this this little circle that it goes through. And I'm kind of rattled right now, and I forget what they were calling it. It's got to go through this little hole, and if it does, it'll definitely hit us 7 years later. But see, what's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that when it comes to the point of view. I have to move on. Okay, let's just let Neil talk.
It just spills back into the hole that was just made.
I'll back up a little.
Splashes into that wall of water. It just spills back into the hole that was just made, splashes into itself, and rises high again. That first impact creates a tsunami that's 5 stories tall. By the way, this asteroid is the size of the Rose Bowl. In other words, it would fit neatly in the Rose Bowl the way an egg does in an egg cup. So, here's the first wave. The first wave is just from that first impact. You cavitate the ocean, it fills up again, rises high into the stratosphere, falls back, cavitates the ocean again. Now it's water cavitating the ocean, not the asteroid. That sends another wave. And this repeats. Calculations show this will repeat about 40 times.
I just want you to study the people in the background. Now, I don't think these people might have come out of 100% interest in what he's saying. It seems they're all to be pretty young people. College students, maybe. I don't know who these people are and how they got there, but what is happening is I want you to pay attention. This is a good cross-section, not a bad cross-section of America. How you're right now taking this news. Now, they have not quite heard enough, but at this point, people ought to quit. You should see people to start to be alarmed at what they're hearing. That's my point. Otherwise, they're daydreaming. Do you understand? He is giving the equivalent slowly as he goes through this 15-minute presentation. He's slowly giving the equivalent of yelling fire in a theater. Now, if you're sitting down in a theater and you hear fire, you're not going to start breaking out a fresh piece of gum to chew on. No, you're going to get your keister up and move for the exit right now. This is an alarm. And I'm giving everyone, because people are people. Some have ADD and sitting here in the background. But he's only a few minutes into his little talk, 2 minutes. So as you listen to him and hear me narrate, pay attention to the people in the background a little bit, because they are you, they are us.
40 times, 40 tsunamis, one right after another. What's interesting?
Yeah, the lady with the hat on right here, with her hand on her face on her hand. Oh, she looks concerned, and the Oriental woman that's looking sideways, and the old woman that's looking down. Well, she's trying to figure out where she left her hat, and the woman with her arms, the Oriental woman with her arms crossed, she might be listening. She might be formulating they don't understand what he's saying yet, I think.
To me, is that tsunami would take out the entire west coast of the United States, do $10 trillion in damage. It would make the Indonesian tsunami look like a slightly overflooding puddle. So it was a lost opportunity to compare and contrast magnitudes of disaster. It would later make the news when better data became available. But let me explain this tsunami to you. So it's a wall of water 5 stories tall.
Didn't he just say it's a wall 3 miles of water, 3 miles high? Now, what's it doing 5 stories at this point? I'm back in the picture. Come on now. Quit vacillating. Is it 3 miles high or 5 stories? Listen, I can take, I don't know what that would make a 5-story high splash of water, in the ocean. But this thing is bigger than an aircraft carrier by far. Oh, okay, let's go.
Tsunami 40 seconds later, because it would be pulsed at every 40 to 50 seconds. The next tsunami needs that water.
What he's telling you is that you're not going to get 1 tsunami from this impact. You're going to get 30, I think he's going to say. And that's true. It's a sloshing back and forth. You cavitate the ocean with an object hitting fast, supersonic speed. It pushes all the water out, makes a big hole. Well, that water, there's water still around, wants to go in that hole. It goes in that hole, but with force. When it hits the center, it makes another big splash, back and forth, back and forth. And so if California coast didn't sink absolutely in the ocean by now, you're getting one after another huge tsunami. Again, to maybe 30 in a row.
There's not an unlimited supply of water. The first wave has got some of the water that the second tsunami wants to use. So what happens? The first tsunami goes in only as far. It goes 40 seconds into land. Then it's pulled 20 seconds into land, 20 seconds back for the next tsunami. So in fact, if you do the calculation, you can show the tsunami would not go past about a quarter mile inland. You could set up a rope, like one of those club ropes, and just sit there and just watch the whole thing happen. The waves come in, they pass through the multi-million dollar Malibu homes. The wave comes out, brings the home with it. Next wave comes, takes the home back. In a slightly different shape than it was before. This process basically ablates the entire west coast of the United States. We would know this in advance, thanks to Isaac Newton and his 2 equations he developed as a 26-year-old virgin. And so actually nobody has to die.
Oh, really?
It'll still do the $10 trillion in damage, but we know this in advance.
Well, now, wait a minute. No, this is the lie. One of the lies. It's a few. He's already said that tsunami, the wall of water, is his words, will be 3 miles high. Now, that's 5 stories. Heck, I could probably jump off that and land into a fireman's, whatever they call it, safety net and live. But not from 3 miles. I'll go through that safety net and hit the ground and become smashed watermelon. Now, no one has to die. Where's everybody going to be? He said 500 kilometers. It doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the Pacific. You're getting what killed 250,000 people? 250,000 people drowned in the Indonesia earthquake tsunami, and that wasn't high. That was only a long earthquake, a long tsunami. I got my puppy wanting to come in. You hear little squeaks. I got to get this done.
But I thought about it. There are 2 people who will die.
There we go. Lie.
2 people.
Cute. This will be real cute. Yeah.
Okay. There's the idiot surfer who wants to get that last wave. Right.
And the people that are laughing, if it's not a nervous laugh, then they're idiots. And if you ever wonder why I call people names, I do. I call people stupid in my videos and idiots because someone has to speak the truth. You people are morons out there. You are. Now, I have people, and I know some of them are my friends, that are intelligent. They get it. Not like I get it, because it's almost too much to keep at the front of your mind. But see, a Christian can hold it. We can hold such horror of a thing coming, because Apophis hitting is a horror to the whole world, with its death and its destruction and its nuclear winter and the horrible, horrible things that'll be happening. You can't keep that in the forefront of your mind, so you must push it back. But Christians don't. First of all, I'm a Christian. Why? Because I'm not going to be here. And if I am, God will get me through it. Even that. And if I die, no, I don't expect to die. Live through it, even if God's on my side. Oh, here comes my wife again. You just said so. Okay, honey. Thank you. Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Yeah, bye. It's funny.
Man, I'm going to, the idiot surfer. We got one dead surfer.
People out there might know what's happening here at my household. Wife's getting old. I don't let her drive. That's all I'll say anymore. No.
And one dead weatherman. You know what? And
I'm going to back up a little bit, guys. I'd like to forget what just happened.
Okay. There's the idiot surfer who wants to get that last wave. Rad, man. I'm going to, the idiot surfer. We got one dead surfer. And one dead weatherman. You know the weatherman trying to get the camera closer to the hurricane? Come, you look at the waves crashing on the earth, and the cameraman keeps backing up and he pulls him in. One dead weatherman. Two dead people, right? That's what you get.
No one has to die. Remember he said that.
Later we would learn.
Ridiculous.
Better data. Once you discover an asteroid and you know its trajectory, you could look in historical photos for where it would have been in the past if you got your trajectory right.
Let me tell you, I've never watched this particular one through. Okay, I've watched other ones. So he's pretty much doing bits and pieces and a conglomeration of all his other ones. Generally, they're almost not much more than sound bites. But this is the longest one I've found that he's really teaching. But learn the people in the background. These are you, buddy. These are me. God's opened my eyes. I'm trying to help you. Now, you're not going to live through this. You're not going to live through Apophis wormwood. Strike is going to kill everyone. Oh yeah, there'll be stragglers alive, sort of like stepping on a pile of ants. You kill most of them, but some of them get away, and that's exactly what it's going to be like. But don't count on it. Don't count on it because it's multiple things that'll start. There's a Madrid, if I'm not saying it quite right, there's an earthquake fault line that goes through almost up to Pennsylvania through the center of the United States. And New Madrid or something like that. I'm old, as you can see. I'm taxed on a few ends here to remember things, and I've been really sick. I almost was put in the hospital. I probably should have went, but I'm getting over things. But New Madrid fault line, yes, look it up. It's right through the center, goes north and south of the United States. That's going to definitely go. So you people in the center of the United States are going to have, I don't know, 8. Because when it first happened, I believe the New Madrid earthquake, which happened in, I think, in the early 19th century or late 18th century, was somewhere, I think, in the low 8 Richter scale. So you're going to get some there too. Nobody's going to miss this. Our drinking water will be filled with ash from Yellowstone. Okay, and it'll be like crushed glass. So drinking, and if you read Revelation, the drinking water, clear water, a third of the world will be gone. That's because of ash.
Then that becomes useful data to you. It's called a pre-discovery photo. It's common in my field. Once you have a general direction that something's going in, you just turn the clock back. Once we dug up pre-discovery photos and got some better data later, we were able to tune what was going to happen. So here's what will happen. On April 13th, in the year 2029, that's one orbit away from the 2036 date. It has a 7-year intersection orbit with Earth. On that date, April 13th, which, by the way, is a Friday.
Friday the 13th.
April 13th, 2029, this asteroid, named Apophis, named for the Egyptian god of death and darkness.
They knew what they were doing.
Named, of course, only after we calculated its trajectory to intersect Earth. If it were not going to hit Earth, we could have named it like Bambi or Tiffany.
You know, he's being cute. And you know, entertaining. Let me make a point here. He's saying 4 years away. And I want you people to realize we're mainly all imbeciles. I mean, we're functioning idiots and imbeciles. We really are. And so are these people. Because if he would have said this Apophis is going to blast by, because he's telling you he'll tell you it's not going to hit, but it'll take out satellites. Just like suddenly God's going to suspend the law of gravity, just so this can get by and not hit us, to be drawn into Earth, okay? If he told these people that this was coming in 3 weeks, and by the time 2 or 3 minutes would pass, you'd see people get the idea, and they would run out. They would empty this very auditorium he's speaking in. Yeah, my point is, tell these people all this is coming in 3 weeks. They'd be up and out of there 4 weeks instead of 4 years. They're not getting it, and you can tell. And see, you're not getting it out there. You can't escape it. Well, why am I helping you? Why am I saying this? Because you can come to Christ, and if the rapture turns out to be in 4 or 5 months from now, get in the rapture, get the heck out of here. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting 4 years for it, but it'll come, and it'll be ugly, and you'll be 3.5 years already in the tribulational period. You think things are crazy now? Wait till the trib starts.
Something non-threatening, right? Freddy. You know, something that, it's not hurting anybody. Name that one Apophis. So, we know for certain that Apophis, on Friday the 13th, April 2029, it's the size of the Rose Bowl. It'll get close enough to Earth that it will dip below Earth's communication satellites. It'll be the biggest, closest thing ever known to come near Earth. The communication satellites are geosynchronous orbits, about 23,000 miles up. This will come in at 18,000 miles. It'll be visible from northern Europe. The Geek Set has already rented the hotel rooms there, so you're out of luck. Because they did the math, and they knew when and where it was going to happen.
I'm sorry, what is this woman with that? Is she an escapee, the one with the black dress and the red hair? I mean,
it'll look like just a fast-moving, bright object across the night sky. Moving at about, what speed do I give it? Probably around 10 miles per second. That's hauling, that fast. So, here's the catch. Its orbit remains sufficiently uncertain. Let me back up. In the possible range of orbits it could have on that...
This girl here, the young Oriental chick with the long, straight hair, chewing her gum, she looks like she's sizing him up for a husband. I wonder what kind of husband he would make. He could make good money. I'm sorry, I'm getting cynical and angry. Maybe I'm making you laugh. I'm kind of making me laugh. I need it right now. I'm up to as most of us are, guys. I'm not pregnant here, a term meaning that I'm not alone, feeling alone. But I'm up to my elbows, armpits and alligators, as they used to say. Look at her, look at him. All right, listen up. Like, yeah, he make pretty good husband. Of course, who knows? Of course, I'm being, and you know what? Yes, I am being, what what is it? Racist. Yeah, we're all racist. I'm a freaking racist. So are you. Shut up.
There is an interval range where if it threads that keyhole, we call it a keyhole. It's a 600 mile, about 600 mile, 700 mile range. If its orbit goes through that range, Earth's gravity will be just right.
I ruined it for you. This is important. I'm going back a little bit. He's talking about the keyhole now. The big lie, the keyhole that will keep you out there with your bologna sandwich on the very date of impact. Sure that it's going to pass by because Neil deGrasse Tyson and NASA said it would go by, not hit. And we're going to all watch it with our bologna sandwiches in one hand and, our Pepsi in the other and maybe, our Walmart telescope and binoculars, and we'll watch it go by. Meanwhile, it's going to hit because you'll be out there exposed. Doesn't really matter exposed or not, but it'll make things more fun for you.
Range. If its orbit goes through that range, Earth's gravity will be just right. Or rather, just wrong. So that it will alter its orbit so that it will hit us 7 years later. So the test is it going to go through the keyhole? The latest estimates are that the likelihood, with updated data, is that the likelihood that it'll go through the keyhole is several in a million. Much better for us than the 30% first estimate or the 1 in 42,000 estimate that had been around for a couple of years. So you say, oh, not a problem. There are people who bet on the lottery with worse odds than that, expecting that they're going to win. Would you put $10 trillion in harm's way? Actually, if any insurance people here, I know there's got to be. You just do the math, right? $10 trillion divided by the probability of it hitting, spread that among the total population of the West Coast, and you have an insurance policy. That's how that works, right? That's how you calculate insurance policies. Oh, by the way,
I forgot
I saw Steve Soda here, my colleague. Steve Soda, we collaborated on all the exhibits here in the Rose Center 10 years ago on our anniversary. Steve, could you remind me who of the famous astronomers of the past actually invented actuarial tables? Sir Edmund Halley invented the notion that you can calculate a risk using actuarial tables. An astronomer did this. Okay? So it's good to have people who think about the universe. Who here only wants to look at Earth? Where did she go? Where's my Earth woman? Did she leave? Yeah. Oh, she's still here? Oh, yeah, you're sneaking out over here on me. You're the one that only wanted to look at Earth. People who look up, also invent stuff. Just want you to know. Okay? So, the problem is we don't know the orbit well enough to say whether or not it's going to go through the keyhole. We need better data on its location in space. So what we really want to do, and in fact one of the plans of NASA's next voyages, is to visit an asteroid. Why not visit the asteroid that has our name on it? The one that's headed this way. Just call Bruce Willis. That's all you got. That's all you got to do. Put him on your speed dial and say, Bruce. No, we need Bruce Willis.
Look at these people's faces. And the older Oriental, very pretty woman, she never looks at him. What is she looking at in the foreground? Wow.
Oil leak in the bottom of the thing, right?
Did they go to the bus station to get these people, or what? Where did these people come from? They're not students.
Then we send him into space. He was an oil rig driller, if you remember from Armageddon.
This is Death on a Stick, and he's joking.
That movie was made with a whole other universe of laws of physics, just so you know.
Death on a Stick. I coined that phrase. Meaning it is unavoidably, completely death. Death that will arrive, death that will be ugly, and a death that will be absolutely death. Death on a Stick. Made for you, so you could enjoy.
Not from this universe. That's why no aliens.
Like a lollipop.
That movie. So where was I before I distracted myself? Physics. Yeah. So here's what you do: you go to the asteroid, and then you stick LoJack on it. Okay, something where it's telling us where it is to like 1 centimeter per second accuracy. Okay, and its velocity and its location with that accuracy. Then you put it back into the equations. You sharpen the orbit. You reduce the uncertainty, and you'll know whether it'll go through the keyhole or not. If it's targeted to go through the keyhole, all you have to do, well, if you're like military generals who know you got like nukes in the silo, you blow the sucker out of the sky. You know, we got those folks. We know who they are. The people want to blow stuff up. Problem here in America is that we're really good at blowing stuff up and less good at knowing where the pieces go afterwards. We're just less good at that. All right? So I don't want to blow up Apophis. Then we have 2 pieces, one headed for New York, one headed for LA. I don't want 2 pieces because we don't know what'll happen when you blow it up. So the kinder, gentler solution would be to nudge it out of harm's way. And all you have to do is nudge it so that it misses the keyhole.
See, the problem of it is, guys, is I don't know how old this video is, but I'm sure it's a few years old. I believe Apophis, well, he said when Apophis was discovered, he didn't use a date, and I think it's all a lie. I think they knew about it long before, but he used the date of the of that tsunami that killed all those people. I'm going to interrupt and see if I can use Siri to answer that. Siri, what was the date of the world's largest modern tsunami killing of 500,000 people?
Here's an answer from AccuWeather.com.
2004 Indian Ocean tsunami, deadliest tsunami. It just says how much it cost, but it cost $14 billion. Let's not worry too much about the fact that it killed 243 million people. No big deal. All right, let's get back.
It's only a 300-mile nudge, one way or another.
So we'd be nudging it a long time ago, guys.
You give it a sideways motion. I'm headed towards you.
We're not nudging it.
Give
Can't
me
be
a
nudged.
sideways motion, a few centimeters per second, that accumulates so that after enough time, and I miss you completely. And in this case, you just have to miss me.
Let's think about this, guys. He's giving it as a hypothesis. What if? He's not saying it's happening. There's no nudging and pushing happening.
Keyhole. 2029?
Even in space, there's something called momentum, okay? In Newton's law of physics, you know, objects tend to stay, that are in motion, tend to stay in motion, and I'm sure that's a ballistic, straight line type ballistic, they call it motion, type of motion.
That's the right amount of time in the future. But most of us will still be alive, we hope, and we can adjust budgets to make this happen. So all we have to do is engage international space agencies to do this. There are none. There is no organization to do this. And who's going to pay for it? We would surely pay for that, but suppose it was headed for the Indian Ocean?
Now, who's going to pay for it? This is where people with my knowledge, and yes, I have knowledge, come in and add. We live under Luciferian rules. That's the Illuminati. You have got Lucifer, and as a spirit, and all his hordes of demons and fallen angels behind him, all powerful in a spiritual manner, able to appear, able to, I'm sure, even probably appear and touch people, not Christians, but other people. We've got, but the problem of it is that Lucifer hates humanity, and he has convinced humans of something called eugenics. That's eugenics. That's good Genesis. And or good genetics, and their good genetics is to cut down the population of the earth. I remind you people that are not, that are intelligent, that are on par and up to date, or close to it, and trying to do it, to be updated, that of the Georgia Guidestones, a number of granted granite stones with in Georgia, so the Georgia Guidestones, giving us guidance like the Ten Commandments. I'll rush through this. They've just been taken down. They were up for 20, 30 years. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who put them there. Nobody knows who paid for it, except the people that did the granite work, and I guess sold the ground. But it warned. It was just saying their main thing was to hold population of Earth to 500 million people. That was their first commandment. They gave a brand new 10 Commandments on the Georgia Guidestones. Look them up. First commandment: maintain Earth's population to 500 million people. Well, that's great, but we're somewhere around 8 billion right now. Where's the other 7.5 billion going, folks? Apophis. And there's a couple of germs running around right now too. I can't say, they'll take me off. So, but Apophis will stand. It'll probably kill that many. Back to him, and so he's saying, "What? Who's going to pay for it? Nobody. This is the opportunity to take out really the whole humanity. The remaining humanity will be humanity 2.0 because of genetic changes." And we're not going to go into that, or they'll pull this.
Doesn't affect America. It wouldn't affect us. So what kind of Earth insurance policy does the world take out? How do you work that?
Wait, what's not going to affect us? Even using his terminology and his bullcrap, he says, if Apophis hits, it's hitting just off the American coast. Let's back it up.
It wouldn't affect us?
Oh.
So, are none. There is no organization to do this. And who's going to pay for it? We would surely pay for that, but suppose it was headed for the Indian Ocean. Doesn't affect America. It wouldn't affect us. So, what kind of Earth insurance policy does the world take out? How do you work that? And we have an Apollo 9 astronaut.
See, now I'm daydreaming. It's been a long day. But it's certainly going to affect America first. It's according to biblical wormwood that Apophis most likely is, wormwood of Revelation chapter 8, verses 10 and 11. And around that area, it's going to kill a third of the landmass of the world. Well, a third of the landmass of the world happens to be the combination of the North American and South American continents. Okay, that's all of Canada, Alaska, United States, Mexico, everything between Mexico and South America, and South America. Okay, continents. So it's not going to affect us. I don't know how I slipped that in. I don't want to rewind it. Maybe I misunderstood. You do the work. I'm tired, and I have things I have to attend to here.
Steve Schweiker with a webpage called B612, dedicated to studying not only the physics of asteroid collisions, but the politics of how to alleviate them. B612, where have I seen that before? B612. That is the name of the asteroid that the Little Prince landed on. Oh, isn't that the cutest thing you ever heard?
Don't know the reference.
So that's B612. So people are thinking about it, and even some influential people. So if we don't mobilize in time, because we have too many lawyers among us and not engineers. So here's what happens. If we don't mobilize in time, and it does thread the keyhole, we still have another 7 years. The problem is, it's headed straight for Earth now. Now when you have to deflect it, You got to deflect it by 2,000, 4,000 miles by Earth's radius. That's a much harder job than deflecting it 300 miles, half of the keyhole. So I suggest that NASA go ahead and do this just as an exercise. Even though it's only a several in a million chance of it hitting, I want to know that we have the power to deflect asteroids so that we do not suffer the same fate as our reptilian ancestors 65 million years ago, who did not have engineers among them, so that as they're standing there dining on our mammal ancestors for as hors d'oeuvres, I'm reminded of the Gary Larson comic. The T-Rex is talking to some other T-Rex, and they're just sitting there, just chilling, and one says, "Now is the time to build an asteroid defense system." Because I don't want to be the laughing stock of the galaxy, where others know that we were smart enough to have a space program.
Enough, because now it's just shucking and jiving, and if you can't tell them the truth, dazzle them with something else. And there I am, my face got up. I'm going to finish me here. Let me bring my camera back up. We're done with him. Can I make this any bigger? Yes, I can. Okay, you've heard it. That's all I can do, guys. Now, here's your spinach. It's warmed, it's cooked. I'm serving it to you, and you hate it. But it's more than just good for you. Eat it. Eat it. Take it apart. See, I'm blessed to be called by God to do these things. You realize you don't. You know what my background is? I'm an ex-35-year employee of People's Gas Company here in Pittsburgh. First 10 years they loved me. The second 25 years, it seems roughly, they kept trying to fire me. It was a spiritual thing, guys. Did nothing wrong. And they said I was crazy. And I'll tell you that. The first thing about being called crazy is you can't complain about it, because if you tell people you're not crazy, then it makes you look crazy. It's a catch-22. It's hilariously, diabolically terrible, actually. It's rough to get through. But see, smart people know, and they can read you, and they can read me. So you have for what I am. But that's my background. I've studied. God called me 43 years ago to start studying, and I jumped on that saddle like a 50s cowboy jumped on a horse from the back. Remember, they used to run up behind their horse, and they'd slap the horse's butt and pull themselves up and fall in the saddle from behind, and off they went. That's sort of me when God said, "Hey, Ken, I want you to learn." And I've always learned. And I've been faithful, and he's been more than faithful to grace me. And he's given me a couple of things to prove my standing with him. Now, I can't say I'm a prophet. I don't even want to say Tom Horn, who had incredible dreams, both, one about the Pope. Tom said Pope Benedict would step down and not die, and he would be replaced, and that happened. But see, Tom Horn had a dream a year before that happened, and it happened. And the Vatican kept it secret. Then Tom Horn had a second dream while he was sleeping with his wife. One or both times of those dreams he had died. Probably the second one, I think, with his wife about Apophis. He was in his bed, he quit breathing. At that moment, he was sleeping with his wife, and he got taken. He used to live in a trailer. He's just a regular pastor man. You know what I mean? Good man. Gone. Died last year. 68, I think. But God took him in this dream up in the sky, and he saw this dragon up in the sky doing this thing above him. And then God took him above the dragon. When he looked down on what was the dragon, it's now a fiery meteor. Excuse me. part of my illness is digestive stuff, so I'm kind of burping here and I can't help it. I don't have the time or energy to redo this. I've never done a tape like this with me monitoring it like this in a separate square section. But see, God showed him to be a prophet by giving him this information that Pope Benedict would not die to be replaced. He would be replaced as he lived. And who replaced him? The Pope that just died, Pope Benedict. And Pope Benedict, not according to the Bible, but according to other, what they would call prophecies. They're interesting, but they're not biblical. So they don't have to be true. If it's biblical, it has to be true. But they said Pope, this would, the Pope, the number of the Pope of who just died, Francis, would be the last Pope in the chain of popes, the last. And the Catholic Church firmly believes, it's called the prophecy of the popes by Saint Malachi. Look it up. So I don't know what's happening. Malachi didn't say that the next before last pope would be replaced while he still lived. But so that's not part of it. So you can't say that's any. I'm off on a tangent. See, there I am. That's what I do. This is how long? Millions of years I've taken to do this. I can't tell. I have to wrap it up. Guys, you can't live through this listen, whether Apophis is wormwood or not. If Apophis is wormwood, this means the rapture is this October 13th. This coming 5 months away, roughly. The rapture, we're going to be out of here. Okay? And you're going to stay here in what they call left behind in the 7-year trib. I'm going to teach on this next time. The first half of the trib is going to be moderate. The chess pieces will be getting in place. The Antichrist will come forward and things like that. And the 4 angels of the apocalypse, or horsemen, they'll be taking their position. And they'll be in position by that time. And the first half of that, or 3.5 years of that 7-year trib, you'll have wars, real wars this time. But when it hits the middle of the trib, I believe, and I'm not really strong on the 7-year trib as I need to be, because there's not much I can do about it. It's more of a thing of knowledge and curiosity for me, because I've studied salvation, the study of salvation. What's the gospel? What does it take to be saved? And what does saved mean? Okay, and believe it or not, because a lot of people that call them in churches that call themselves Christian believe you can lose your salvation. Believe you got to be good to go to heaven. You don't. You're good because you are going to heaven. Sounds small and trite. Big difference though. But I don't want to. The second half is going to be incredibly bad. Christ said if he didn't stop those things happening in those days, no life. No, this is God talking. No life will be around anymore. So I don't know if the Lord Jesus, when he said those words, was referring to even like the cockroach, the thing that everyone says lived through everything and will live forever, will die. He says no life, and that, to me, that means no life. So even the microscopic world will perish in what's coming further and further in the tribulational period. And if Christ's second coming didn't stop it, it would happen. So you don't want to be here for, is my point. And so get out. It's a free ticket. Come on. There's an old song. It's kind of almost like a black hymnal type of song. I love it too. And Get on board. You don't need no ticket to ride. And I think you know the song. But it's just like that. The black folks in that song singing that, and whoever's singing it, they got it, and they're going to heaven. Also, speaking of black folk, the black folk that sang, "Oh Happy Day," when the Lord, He washed my sins away. Now, I was raised Catholic, doing all my life through Catholic grade schools with nuns and catechisms and first communions and confirmations and the whole ball of wax. I heard that song in '69. I was in the Army headed for Nam. I ended up in Korea at the last minute. I did not know what they were saying. I was having trouble understanding because I didn't know the theology of what they were singing. It's the Edmund something choir saying this, "Oh happy day, oh happy day, when Jesus washed, oh when He washed my sins away." I thought they were saying He walked my sins away. I had no concept through the Catholic Church of having a complete eternal washing. You see, the Catholic Church teaches venial and mortal sins, and somehow they get on you like scabies, and you're really never clean. Because venial sins, I mean, they're everywhere, especially in this world of visual aids and visual input and audio, filthy music and filthy even commercials. And you can't, and on billboards. So I had no concept back in '69 as a really good, well-taught Catholic of what really they were saying, washed my sins, because I always thought they were saying walked, W-A-L-K, like, walked my sins away. It didn't make sense, but I love the song, still do, but now I know. Once I was blind, but now I know. People come to Christ. Okay, ask Jesus to forgive you. Tell Him you're a sinful person, you got sins, and you've got things against you, and you don't want them against you, and you don't want to be punished for them, you don't want to go to hell, or even have a possibility. Tell Jesus, I don't even want to have a possibility of going to hell. Save me. No hell for me. No way, no how come. Just please. And He'll do it for you for the asking. Just say, Jesus, save me from hell, please. You don't even have to say please. It's implied. Say please if you want, though. Do whatever you want. Plead. But you really don't have to. He died for you. Jesus is very willing to forgive you. My goodness, He died for you. Why wouldn't He freely forgive you? And the Bible says He freely forgives you. It's a gift. Heaven is a gift. Ask for it. But you got to be forgiven first to get there. So ask for forgiveness. That's a gift. Get that first, and you automatically go to heaven. So Jesus, follow me in prayer, guys. Dear Jesus, I'm a sinful person, I know. I don't feel right about dying. I don't feel like I'll be safe if I die tonight or tomorrow or any time. I want that safety. I want that sense of safety. I want to be forgiven. No, I'm offering you nothing, Jesus, right now. Offering you nothing. But my sins, take them away from me, because you died for me on the cross and rose again from the dead. And take me to heaven, because you said if I ask you to do these things, you will. And so I'm asking, and so you are, and you now have done it. And thank you so much. And I end in your name, Jesus, although I'm praying to you, because you said, ask me anything in my name and I will do it. Or ask the Father anything in my name and I will do it. So I'm asking Jesus in your name, then forgive me, take me to heaven, and thank you. I am now declaring myself free of hell, of even the possibility, forgiven and saved. And thank you in Christ's name. Jesus Christ's name, amen. Here you go. I mean, even I kind of flutter around. It gets busy. There's something about the gospel that half the time I can give it so well, so succinctly. And the other half, I stumble around myself, and I'm an evangelist of 43 years. I've led in prayer well over 100 people. I led 2 people this week to Christ, in prayer. Now, if they took or not, that's between them and God. I have to do follow-up. But what a blessing. 2 people. I won't mention them. But they prayed to receive Christ as Savior. And they've been told they're off the hook. They've got to go to heaven. They're stuck. Now you got to go to heaven. I can't go to hell. Isn't it nice to be able to say that with truth, with God behind you? Saying, you're right, Ken, or you're right, Bill, or Sally, whatever your name is. Enough. And you people out there, there's my age and my health coming up. Excuse me, another kind of hiccup. You people out there that are saved, come on, guys. Brethren, my brothers and sisters, get on the stick, get busy. Talk to your friends. Take the chance of looking like idiots to them, because you might, maybe you won't, but you will not have their bloods on your hands. You will not have the blood of their souls on your hands, and you'll end up with that. Won't send you to hell. Nothing can send you to hell, but you'll lose reward in heaven. You do it. And I can put my glasses on and see how to end this, because this is run pretty darn late. Okay, how do I... Here. See ya.